morning, good evening, and good afternoon, and welcome back to Better Me for Women Only. Yes, I will be very selfish. I am talking about various subjects, but I believe that we need to create some space that is dedicated only for us. My name is Magdalena. If you are new here, welcome, beautiful soul. And I'm very glad and happy to have you here with us. I do hope that you will enjoy the messages, the thoughts I'm sharing here. I hope they will become your inspiration to support you for your empowerment. This week I had various experiences that has challenged my confidence. And I was thinking that it will be a great idea to talk about building lasting self-confidence from rooted doubt to daily empowerment. The thing with confidence, it's quite interesting subject. Is this something, especially with women, although, I don't know how it is with men. Maybe one day I will have the chance to speak about that with men, then I will share with you definitely. I had, maybe for 30 years, problem with my confidence. Although I'm quite a strong person, there were some inner blockages that didn't allow me to be who I want to be how I am. Because of that blur effect, I didn't know who I am. The thoughts, the way how you act, the way how you think, the way how you should behave, react for various situations were somehow shaped by the surrounding environment. This week I had a class with students. There was a wonderful exercise we did, and there was a term, people pleaser. When we think about being people pleaser, I was one. I'm no longer one. It was a few years of heavy work around myself. It was around 30 years that I was living in this kind of mode of being a people pleaser. At the same time, the people pleaser can be associated with the fact that there is an inner shout, inner voice that is asking for attention. It can show in different dimensions, and as we are all different, we are having our own experiences, lives, values, thoughts, the way how we perceive our life and ourselves. It will have various volumes. The term of people pleaser, at certain level, it is unhealthy. It is of course very important to be attentive to people's needs, but only when we are not compromising to some extent our own comfort, our own values, our ethics. How often as a woman we are in relationships with friends, with families, with beloved ones. We will sacrifice our own values so that they feel pleased. And interestingly, when we see them, they are satisfied. That's a kind of source of energy for us. We are feeding ourselves that, we do good thing. We just planted a good deed. Unfortunately, in most of the cases, this is not the thing. Becoming confident is not just 1 month's ride. So you do some set of exercises, breathing, meditations, affirmations. You wake up one day, 31st a day, and suddenly the world is different. You are feeling different. With me, for example, the moment of the realizations that my confidence was actually on a very low level was the moment when I truly became free. I turned 40 years old. So it was a few years ago, and I realized I no longer have to hide myself. I no longer have to adapt myself to the conditions that are not good for me, that are compromising my values, my ethics, just because I wanted to be seen. The moment of that realization, now I'm free, was actually very scary. Because then the question came, okay, who am I? At the same time, it made me feel empowered. Right now I will focus on my inner work, how I am articulating my thoughts, how I am building the relationships with people. You know, we are having certain criteria based on which we are choosing people to hang out, to associate ourselves with. And that was the moment where I revisited those criteria, and definitely they were no longer driven by to be needed by people, to be seen by people. I wonder, do you have this kind of, similar or maybe different experiences? How are you about your self-confidence? Because, by the way, I thought I am super self-confident. But it was the upper part that was telling me, while the lower part was in fire. And this is why I thought that it will be a good idea to bring to you this subject. The purpose of this episode will be to uncover the root causes of low confidence and building it from the inside out. Like I mentioned, most probably each of us will navigate this subject in own individual manner. Let me bring you 4 areas where I find that are strongly correlated with the level of the self-confidence. Childhood messaging, what we are taught, what and how we have been rewarded or ashamed for. Especially now when I work with different people, although I do work around self-leadership, leadership development, so purely business subject, but within that work there will be always some elements that we need to reach a personal level. I listen how we as a kid are not able to have voice, how we are criticized by the parents, how there are a list of expectations, how we should fit to their image. So whatever idea we do have, we are somehow not existing. They have made us. They want us to be independent, smart, and so on. But the only thing they are delivering us, their version that eventually they didn't achieve in their own life. I was having a very interesting conversation recently. I was a guest in one of the podcasts, and we were talking purely about the organizational leadership, but I have mentioned about the sociological environment. I broke into 2 parts. The first is happening within our childhood, from the day we are born, then development, kindergarten, school, high school, university, and then there is a stage when we enter the adulthood. That's the moment where we are going to the workplace. The first part, our growth, when we are on the stage where we have no voice, no rights to make decisions, we are shaped by the external environment. We will absorb what they are telling us. We will somehow copy-paste by a natural way the values the parents are giving us. This is how we should behave. This is how it is. This is how the family should look like. Broken, not broken, good, bad behaviors in the house. But that's the image that we will be creating and anchoring in our mind. And most probably that will be our drive for our adulthood, how we will build eventually our love relationship. When we go into workplace, there is another second part of the sociological environment, that's the workplace. And here I put the kind of responsibility on the leaders, because leaders are responsible for creating healthy workplace environment to eventually, if there are some people with traumas, people with not properly balanced values, they can have a great support to grow. Here we are not talking about the leadership in organization. We can eventually link that with the self-leadership part that can be worked out during the personal work, especially with this continuous correction of our being. Especially with this continuous correction of our being. How are you dressed up? How are you looking? I remember when I was a teenager, I was listening the Pearl Jam, Nirvana, so yeah, big boots, Martens, long black skirts and some heavy, shirts, long hair, lots of leather type of bracelets, black. It's dark and continuously critic. How are you looking? How you should change, and so on and so on. And of course, that time also, I was using these kind of dressing to cover up my round shapes. No one asked me actually what is behind my style. Right now, my son is going also through various turbulences. Do I like his style? Who am I to say that? The most important is that he's clean. Yes, sometimes he will come up with some haircut that I will roll eyes to the sky, but I will not criticize him. I eventually may tell him the other day, if we are going here or there, I would like you to wear this. How does it sound? No, Mom, it's not so official. I don't need to be so strict. I can wear what I want. And that's okay. I will accept. And I do hope that that's an element where he feels accepted. This is what I didn't experience. Another element which we can have here when we are adult already, comparison culture. When I'm 45, there was no social media. But in the school, the other students can study better. Why can't you? The other student is prettier. Why can't you? This marriage is better. These people are worse. The conversations at the table, at the family gatherings, were about the comparing people. Who is bad? Who is worse? Who is better? Today with the social media, when we are having these broken pieces in us, I think it will accelerate the self-doubt. We are not enough. Because the social media is showing what is beautiful, what is great. Internalized expectations. This is what I was saying at point 1. Being nice, perfect, quiet. When someone is telling me I am the perfectionist, through the work that I have done around myself, but also driven by the work I do for work, around the leadership, and especially how I am using the theory of leadership for developing and empowering people based on its qualities, I realized people who are labeling themselves as a perfectionist, they are actually covering themselves, so eventually no one will see they are not perfect. Like from workplace environment, the project must be perfectly finished, so then I can eventually launch that, start executing. Often it's corresponding with I'm afraid of a failure and critic. Parents, mothers, my kids must be perfect. And then when we go to a restaurant, be quiet, sit quiet. We focus what others will think about us. Past failures or criticism that planted the self-doubt. Being criticized how you look, being criticized you are not good enough, being criticized you should be smarter. These kind of elements will have a strong impact on the way how we perceive ourselves. This inner, I call it in my work, toxic needs, this inner call for attention, being loved, being seen, being accepted, will be a drive to become a people pleaser when we are selecting people with whom we want to be as we become adult. It can be a choice of our partner, it can be a choice of our friends. Let me ask you, when did you first feel not enough? You can pause the video, take a moment for a reflection, maybe take a diary and write it down. Another question, whose voice plays in your head when you doubt yourself? Is it really your voice or voices from the past? When do you speak to yourself? Is this the same way you speak to someone you love? When did I first feel not enough? I don't remember. I think when I was 10. And then it took up to I was 40. Although I was not driven, my life was not driven in that way. I didn't victimize myself around this. But there were, of course, existing turbulences in my mind around this. And this is where the people pleaser mode appeared. When I self-doubt myself, this is where I realize it was not my voice. It was the accumulation of various voices coming through the past. Have you experienced this kind of situation where you want to speak up for yourself and you want to share your pain points, and instead to have constructive conversation, you are fired back with being called egoistic? In worst case, even arrogant, because why are you speaking and focusing on yourself? Almost same scenario as kids have no voice. If we had in the past, if we do have today these kind of level of conversations, which I will label negative, not constructive, not developing, not learning, these will be the source of our self-doubt and low self-confidence. Also, parent to kid. That will be this connection with expectations, yes? Because I expect from you so much. How dare you to talk to me that way, my dear child? There are expectations without explanations. These are also sources of self-confidence, low self-confidence. I started to speak to myself as I was talking to those whom I love. I'm sure you have heard about this. Go to mirror, say I love you. And can you imagine? I do that. I really do say to myself a good thing, even if there are heavy times, heavy moments, and the moments of self-doubts that I am not able to manage this. Then I say, oh no, you did bigger things. Just move on. You will make it. Take one step. If you have no power to make these 10 steps as you planned, take just one, maybe extra half. It really works. Really, really works. Try it. Since we are on the try it, let me share with you some few practical confidence building tools. So, of course, daily exercise. You can start practicing. That's why I also shared about the diary. Because when we are writing it down, we can always revisit that and have some moment of reflection. It shall definitely not be your diary that you check your performance, because it's not about the race, it's about your space. Micro bravery practice. Do one small thing that feels a little uncomfortable each day. Let me share with you an example. Write down 3 things about people with whom you are living in the house. Ask them to meet with you at the specific time, specific day, specific time, for 30 minutes for a cup of tea. The subject: you wish to share with them about the things you like about them. But it shall not be just list, oh, I like the way how you cook, I like the way how you look, and so on. No. Element the item, but then write some story so that it can be given the impression to the person to whom you say that you are attentive. You noticed certain behavior, certain act in specific situation. And when I mean people with whom you live, I mean everyone. Don't go for this kind of exercise just ad hoc. Prepare yourself. Take time with whom you want to talk. If you are living alone, think about other people with whom you are having some various style of relationships. Just do that. It's really great exercise. Power posture, the breath work. Best in the morning or during the day. As a mother, I'm doing that 5 times a day, especially when there is a stressful day and unexpected things are happening and you have to manage that. But in the meantime, it became really fun. And my power posture is just really, really strong stand with my shoulders back. I do a long neck, belly in, hips to the front, and take a really, really deep inhale and exhale from my belly up to the lungs. And when I exhale, I just say to myself, let it go, it doesn't serve me. I was doing this for 2 minutes. Try it. I do it right now, just, while walking from one room to another, and it helps. It takes like few seconds. I'm rewiring attention from some moment that triggered in me negative emotion, stress, into be relaxed. Many people are advising journal. I am not disciplined enough to run. It can work for you. I still believe it's a great idea. I do have my journal with a lot of gaps. And my journal is my daily to-do list. So I see already enough when there are things not done. I do not self-doubt them anymore myself. I have good justifications. No, just kidding. Writing down, especially when you want to do work around yourself and you want to improve the self-confidence, it is not happening without leaving a footprint. And the journal in this case will be your footprint, work that you have done, your efforts. Is a guideline: write 3 things every evening. 1 thing you did you are proud of, 1 kind thing you told yourself, and 1 moment you showed up as you. Confidence isn't loud, it's grounded. You need to remember that it grows with self-integrity. Doing what you say you will, even when no one is watching. Integrity, that's the crucial word here. Speak less, do more work around yourself. And this is why journal is a perfect tool to help you. And for the last, I will share with you some rewiring inner talk. In a hard moment, wherever you are, when you are having sleepless night because your baby is crying, is toothing, because you were having negative conversation with your beloved one and you are feeling you are losing your ground, you can rewire the internal voice through the repetition and embodiment. So let me share with you a few simple affirmations, and I invite you to repeat them with me now. And later you can re-listen again, write it down in your diary or in your phone. So whenever you are losing the ground from under your feet, you have very easy access to remind yourself these. You may just sit more comfortable. You may lay down, close your eyes, and relax your face. Love yourself for this moment when you will be speaking with me these few affirmations. Do you promise me that? I am safe to take up space. I am safe to take up space. I trust myself more every day. I trust myself more every day. I'm not here to be perfect. I'm here to be real. I am not here to be perfect. I'm here to be real. My voice matters. My voice matters. I honor how far I've come. I honor how far I've come. Honor how far you've come, because you are a woman and you are an amazing human being, unique in your way. That's my message to you. Write it down and remember them. Or maybe even do a routine every morning when you are having your morning coffee. Read them to yourself. Anchor them in yourself. As we are coming to the end, 2 more questions to you. What would change if you truly believed in yourself? Can you write it down in your journal? So if you are too stressed right now, come back to that question. What would change if you truly believed in yourself? What do you already do that shows your quiet confidence? What is it? What do you already do that shows your quiet confidence? Remember, confidence isn't found, it's built. And you need time, you need to give time. Don't believe you can do it in 1 week, in 1 month. It's the hard work, it's a craft. You are special. So do not diminish the value of yourself by doing quick race. Okay, I do that and I'm confident. It has to connect all cells in your body, and grounded work on your mindset. I hope you like that episode. I hope it's helpful. Share with me one confidence building practice that works for you in comments. I'm looking forward to hear your stories, to hear your comments, if any of the elements I have shared with you today resonates with you. All is for you to be happy.